The shortest distance across the Atlantic is from West Africa to the eastward bulge of South America. Any raft or canoe caught by ocean currents off the coast of West Africa will be carried inexorably to the eastern shores of America. Dr. Thor Heyerdahl's RA2 expedition of 1971 dramatically demonstrated the transatlantic power of these currents and affirmed that an ancient American landfall from Africa was not only possible but probable. Less adventurous, conventional archaeologists sniffed that the only thing he proved was that Norwegians made good sailors. In point of fact, however, Heyerdahl showed that virtually any waterborne craft shoving off from the North Atlantic shores of Africa would inevitably enter the Caribbean. His was essentially the same transatlantic route Christopher Columbus used to discover the New World less than 500 years before. Similar voyages were immediately undertaken after him. Spanish sailors referred to this mid-ocean crossing as the Sea of Ladies for its tranquil, unchallenging passage. By either accident or design, it stands to reason that, in time, some West African living on the shores fronting this peaceful, direct current would have survived a voyage to Mexico or South America. Physical evidence for this supposition has been found in abundance by a German anthropologist. Beginning in the 1960s, Alexander von Wuethenau collected dozens of Mesoamerican clay and stone effigies clearly meant to depict Negroes. These finds were critically scrutinized by renowned archaeologist Erik Thompson as part of the peer review process. He concluded that von Wuethenau's figures represented travelers engaged in commerce. Thompson stated that the Maya god of merchants was Ek, or black, Chuah. This immortal was also the divine patron of chocolate because cocoa beans were valued as universal among the Maya, who associated them with traders. The Maya were additionally fond of wordplays, and to have a dark-skinned deity as the god of chocolate struck them as entirely appropriate. They, of course, made books of bark illuminated with illustrated glyphs, and had great libraries documenting the arts, sciences, and histories of their civilization. Among the pitifully few volumes to escape the fires of Christian intolerance were what came to be known as the Dresden and Madrid Codices. Both works feature painted images of a black man with decidedly African facial features carrying a spear. He has been identified as Ek Chuah by William Gates, translator of Bishop Diego de Landa's 16th century Yucatan before and after the conquest. According to Anne A. Morris in her multi-volume description of the Temple of the Warriors at Chichen Itza, the interior painting of a man was all too typical of the Negro and unlike the Maya to be readily taken for accident. That blacks were still present in remote corners of Middle and Central America when early Spanish explorers arrived is attested by Pedro Martir, Spain's court historian in 1530. Describing the discovery of the Pacific Ocean, he quotes Núñez de Balboa saying that at the Isthmus of Panama, he and his fellow Spaniards met Negro slaves from a region where nothing but Negroes are bred, who are ferocious and extraordinarily cruel. We believe that in former times, Negroes who were out for robbery navigated from Africa, and being shipwrecked established themselves in these mountains. The Indians have internal fights full of hatred with the Negroes. However, mainstream archaeologists and conventional historians believe the existence of West African blacks in America dates back at least as far in time as the Mayas, who flourished from 200 BC to 900 AD. Indeed, at least enough of these Native American Negroes were still in existence to be personally observed by Balboa and his fellow conquistadors. It would seem, then, that black history in America did not begin with slave ships of the 16th century, but in less shameful circumstances, enough for the deification of a Negro man as the god of commerce in the far deeper past.